Now, it turns out the Unite the Right rally happened in Washington, D.C. They were anticipating 400 people showing up. They had less than 40. So that's a massive, massive failure on their part. Why are people afraid to come out for the Unite the Right? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the hundreds upon hundreds of, a popular front almost of anti-protesters, ranging from Antifa to, mainline liberal groups to
Black Lives
BLM, whole crew of folks. And, of course, the white nationalists did have their press corps out. Here is Griff Jenkins and Julie Banderas of Fox News talking about what they witnessed.
Best Saturday. But anyway, the Unite the Right organizer bringing the rally to Washington over the weekend. The small group of white nationalists gathering outside the White House, but were quickly outnumbered by Antifa counter-protesters. Watch. And Griff Jenkins was there for the entire thing. He joins us from Washington. Griff, what happened next?
Well, Julie, at the end of the day, the freedom of speech was peacefully exercised by that controversial white nationalist leader on the anniversary of Charlottesville with that other Unite the Right rally. But his event was dwarfed, as you saw, in numbers by the thousands of counter-protesters, including Antifa and Black Lives Matter groups. At times, it was chaotic and wet. As we stood at the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue and 17th Street near the White House, Antifa attempted to provoke law enforcement and block Kessler. At one point, Antifa firing a Roman candle at the police, as well as throwing rocks, water bottles, eggs, and a smoke bomb, all of which we witnessed. But the rain and the remarkable restraint of the D.C. Police Department largely kept things peaceful with no significant violence, only one arrest, a far cry from last year, Julie.
Yeah, who is claiming victory this morning, Griff?
Those counter-protesters. Antifa is notorious for their dislike of media, won't talk to us, but another counter-protester amongst that group named Eddie Kane had this to say.
It's a win for us because we were able to provide proof that it's not about violence. We're not all violent people. We're not all out here trying to be indignant. A lot of us are intelligence. The fact of the matter, we're out here to protest the ignorance that these white nationalists came to town to spew.
And Julie, one last thought, and that is it wasn't just directed at Kessler. There was a large anti-Trump version or sentiment in that crowd. That's why you heard the main theme chanting by counter-protesters was no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Julie?
It's amazing. They just did a 3-minute report on white supremacists marching on Washington and did not have a single negative thing to they just showed up. That was it.
Peaceful First Amendment.
Peaceful First Amendment folks. And then Antifa had to show up and light off a Roman candle.
Throw eggs.
And as Brendan said, they really make sure to separate the protest against white nationalism from the protest against Trump, as if those things are totally unconnected.
Right. Completely strange. No Trump, no KKK. There's no K in Trump.
And God, I just love their insistence that the cops were being so nice by not, committing violence against these counter protesters.
Thank God
right?
there was rain.
Like, wow, they were so much restraint. When a fucking week ago, a cop fired some sort of smoke canister directly into the head of a counter protester, and if they had not been wearing a helmet, it would have killed them in Portland.
I think the next move will be for Fox to talk about all the overtime that needs to be paid to
Right.
DC cops and,
to deal with the
EMS,
counter protests.
to deal with the Antifa who were out in the streets.
If they just would let these white nationalists protest without any complications, everything would be fine. Everything would be fine.
Yeah, they really do think that, though.
Yeah.
That's what they want.